On the inside, and there's Bobby the Bomber.
A tussle for second place here. Tony Stewart's after Ryan Newman.
And there goes Tony. Well, I tell you, Tony Stewart in that 20 car is making a terrific exit off turn 3. What about the 12 car, Dave?
Well, BP, you were looking at the in-car on Ryan to see whether or not he was shifting, right?
Yes.
Did he ever grab the shifter knob?
I didn't see that.
Well, I went up to Matt Borland, his crew chief, and I said, he's not shifting. How can that be? And Matt said, oh, yeah, he's shifting one time. But, see, I learned something about Matt this weekend, that he plays a lot of poker, and he took money from about 4 of his teammates this weekend. But then again, they said he had 5 aces. So we still don't have a straight answer on shifting.
Well, we got the video, so I'll take our answer. What do you think, BP?
He did shift that one time we were on board with him.
If he shifted into high gear and he's pulling 9,500 RPMs going into turn 1, then they need to put that engine in bronze if it goes the distance.
What's that? Somebody saying it's raining in 3?
That's what I thought I heard him say.
That was Ryan Newman's radio, but no caution flag. Johnny Benson might have some problems. What's going on there, Matt?
Alan, Johnny Benson currently in the 19th position. James, have you lost all radio contact with Johnny?
Yeah, right now we don't have anything. We can hear Johnny. He can't hear us. He doesn't know that we can hear him, and it makes it difficult. The hardest part for right now is, the spotting issue. This is awful fast racetrack, him not having spotters. So we think we got a good car. He just have to be pretty cautious right now.
Now, you and I were joking around that this happened last week with Jerry Nadeau, and what were you and Johnny talking about?
Well, it was kind of funny last week. Jerry got really frustrated. About 150 to go. We lost some radios. Thought we should have won the race. And in Jerry's frustration, he broke the mirror out of the car with his fist. So we kind of talked about it on this Laughing Friday. And we've at least got a plan worked out if it ever happens again. We didn't always have to put it in effect today, but hopefully we can work through this.
You work the hand signals out. The hand on the roof means?
Hand on the roof is tight. Hand on the door top is loose.
And since they don't have any radio contact, they have fixed up an old-fashioned pit sign. Tape on a piece of aluminum means pit. If the car is good, they're hoping Johnny will give them the OK sign, Alan.
You hear all the spotters and the crew chiefs talking to their drivers, and you see the caution flag. Rain here at Pocono brings out yellow flag number 2.
And Joe Nemechek is on pit road. Do you think did he pit too soon, or do you think he was able to get on pit road before the caution flag came out?
I am monitoring the radio traffic between NASCAR race director David Hoots and the inspector at the opening of pit road. They're asking just that question, and his answer is he was there just about at the same time. So Ty goes to the runner.
Yep.
And Nemechek's good on his pit stop.
Well, terrific. Very smart move on Joe Nemechek's part.
That's Ryan big. Patty, the crew chief, with the heads-up call there.
But I don't understand why they didn't change 4 tires. Well, maybe I do now, because he's almost about to get lapped. I see. He would have gotten lapped if he had changed 4 tires, probably.
So the yellow flag once again, this time for some raindrops peppering the Pocono Raceway. We were under the caution at lap 1. When Steve Park, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were involved in a terrible crash off turn number 1. After an hour and 5-minute red flag, we got going again, and now the weather is infringing on our fun.
And we can see the raindrops on the Napa Chevrolet of Michael Waltrip on the camera lens. This is Jeffrey Bodine, by the way.
Yep.
Todd ran the Busch race yesterday in Pikes Peak. Did not fly back to run today.
Yeah, I didn't feel like they wanted to go through the process again of starting at the back with somebody who hadn't practiced a lap in the car, and since Todd is committed by contract to that Excedrin Busch Series ride. Hey, Jeffrey knows what he's doing here.
And talking to the crew this morning, Jeffrey Bodine was very thrilled with the car. Said, I might have a car that can win the race here today.
He has won here before. 3 times, as a matter of fact. Well, it's raining when the spotters are covering up on the roof.
Eddie Threat trying to put a garbage bag over his head. He would look good in that.
He'll hear you said that, too. Yeah. Yeah, they're covering up. There's Eddie.
Yeah. There must be a bottom of this. Oh, there's an arm.
There he goes. It's hard to figure out.
Now, how are you going to make that work?
All right.
Very nice. The finest and fashionable rainwear on display here at Pocono Raceway. For some. For others, it's not raining. Drop that green flag. Let's go. Pit stops will be at lap 25. Bill Elliott's going to lead him in.
And my guess is that everyone except Joe Nemechek will come down pit road.
Johnny Benson's crew no doubt will look to fix their radio troubles. Ricky Craven's crew will stick that tape Band-Aid on his car that we saw earlier. Dave?
The 32 car of Ricky Craven is going to come in. The 20 car of Tony Stewart in. Ricky Craven for the damage to be fixed. As for Tony Stewart, he said he needed to roll through the center of the corner better, so they're going to make a chassis adjustment as well as an air pressure adjustment.
Bill Elliott, Tony Stewart's moving 15.1. Elliott having trouble on that left side. Finally down, but long pit stop for Bill Elliott. He will go back to about 6th or 7th.
Sterling Marlin and Dave Blaney are going to get out first. I'm going to follow up and see whether they got 4 tires.
Now,
Marty?
It was 2 tires for the points leader. Allen just a little bit tight. They went up one round on the track bar. He started 13th, moved up to 7th. Very happy with the car, and they made no changes other than that track bar adjustment.
Gets him the lead, gets him 5 bonus points toward the championship.
except Nemechek is out there in front of him.
This is true. Rats foiled again. Under caution for the second time in the Pennsylvania 500. You know it's getting hard, the rain, when the flagman goes for the raincoat.
And we can see the rain on the screen.
Yeah. So they'll be withdrawing that yellow flag momentarily and displaying the red here at Pocono for the second time already in this Pennsylvania 500. Next weekend, a busy weekend from Indianapolis on TNT and NBC, starting with Saturday's Bud Pole qualifying at 11 Eastern Time, then the Busch Series race from Indianapolis Raceway Park, presented by Midas next Saturday night, and the 9th running of the Brickyard 400 next Sunday on NBC, starting at 2 Eastern Time.
Already a huge race in NASCAR Winston Cup racing just in 9 years.
And all the testing that's been done up there over the last couple of weeks, everyone has been there. Qualifying should be tense. There's been going to be a big entry. The bubble, who gets in, who doesn't, that's going to be, there'll be some drama there. Just before the caution came out, we were monitoring Ricky Rudd's traffic back and forth between Michael McSwain and himself.
There. Pretty good. I'm a little loose coming onto the front straightaway. That's probably the only place I'm loose at. Like I say, they look like they got 100 horsepower more than I do off the corner. That advantage is going away a little bit. It was with the 19 car. They got a different gearbox.
Yeah, so he's right. Well, first of all, if you're loose getting off the 3 or you're pushing off the 3 and the guy you're following isn't, he's going to look like he's got 100 more horsepower.
Because if you can't go all the way down with the accelerator to the floor, you know you're not going to use all the horsepower you have.
I'd like to see, I'm glad to see that somebody else uses hand motions when they're talking on the radio in their car. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Ricky was doing that. I've done that before, and then I go, why am I doing that? You can't see my hands.
Check out that white car at the head of the field, who did not pit under the caution. That is Morgan Shepherd, leading a Winston Cup race for the first time since June 1st of 1997. Wow. Isn't that great?
Berlin City. And all the cheers that you hear is not for the rain. It's for Dale Earnhardt Jr. driving the Bud car back on pit road, getting ready to go back in the action once the red flag is lifted.
It's going to be some 27 laps down. So the race leaders when he comes back, but we heard Junior talk about it earlier, trying to crack that top 10 in the championship standings. He is 16th now. And really, as bad as that wreck was, they're getting back out without losing a ton of ground.
No, it doesn't take much, Alan, for a couple guys to have mechanical problems or have trouble, and each one of those spots is so important to pick up for points when you're running for the championship. Or, like Earnhardt said, he's trying to get in the top 10 right now.
Yep. Red flag is out. Pennsylvania 500 is stopped for a second time, this time because of rain.
And it looks like they did a pretty good job on that car.
It does look good. You know, right now, if Junior goes back on the racetrack, when this race restarts, he'll be in front of Rusty Wallace, so he automatically picks up 3 points. And then if he can finish the race and 4 or 5 more cars will have trouble fall out, that's another 15 points he could pick up. So
looks like they replaced the whole front end on that car. You see all that stuff down on the bottom here. That's all brand new because that stuff was torn off in the wreck earlier.
And a little tape on the right rear quarter panel is all that was required.
Big Band-Aids.
That's the before shot, or
Yeah, the after
is
shot.
the before shot.
This is
after
the before
crash.
shot. Yeah. Look at this is the radiator that's laying down flat. Just knocked it completely out of the car.
Tony Uri Sr. just walking out of the camera away from Dale Jr. And his crew doing a great job to get that car repaired and get Jr. back in the hunt. But the big headline right now is it's raining at Pocono, and the Pennsylvania 500 is under the red flag. TNT Sports is live at Pocono International Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, where the Pennsylvania 500 is under a red flag for the second time. Haven't gotten very far in this one. Only 27 laps of the 200 scheduled are complete. It's been kind of a bruising and wet start to what it was expected to be an exciting afternoon of rain.
You big dummy.
I got ahead of myself here. But I digress. Let's go back to the beginning with our Pepsi race recap. You want to handle this for me?
No.
Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd led the field to the green flag just after 1 Eastern time with rain threatening, but we just got through the first corner on the first lap. Calamity struck. Steve Park touching with Rusty Wallace, getting turned to the inside, hooking with Dale Earnhardt Jr., pounding the inside guardrail, which fortunately gave way and absorbed some of the blow. Savage crash, sending Park's car end over end. Fortunately, despite all the destruction and damage, as his teammate Dale Jr. ran over to check on him, he found Park was just fine, and Steve climbed from the wreck after figuring out how to extricate himself from all the safety equipment, and he is okay. 100 feet of guardrail torn down in that. After an hour and 5-minute red flag to repair it, we went racing again, but only till lap number 25. And the rain started falling on turn 3, then spread across the front stretch. Now it's all over this giant 2.5-mile track. And we are once again under the red flag in the Pennsylvania 500. An exciting afternoon of rain. I think that might have been a Freudian thing there, yeah. Jeff Burton and all the other drivers out of the cars for the second time in a race.
Now it starts getting aggravating. One time you can kind of deal with it. Now BP, now when you're out, you're in, you're out, now it starts getting aggravating. Hey, Marty, what's happening down there?
Well, I have found Sterling Marlin, and Lee McCullough's crew chief is over here. Lee, come on over here because he got the Smart Guy Award for going to the radar and checking it out before the pit stops. That's why you took 2 tires, and that certainly helped you out, didn't it, taking 2 tires?
Yeah, it did. I mean, we probably only got 15 green laps on them, too, so we only needed 8 seconds of fuel, and didn't really make sense to put on forward, and 2 tires worked really good for us here last time, so need to get up there and lead a lap and get us 5 bonus points, and hopefully keep that Coors Light Dodge out front.
That was a good call. All right, let's ask Sterling about the wreck. Boy, you barely made it through that thing. What was your view of that wreck?
I seen the 2 car. We come off turn 1 and seen the 2 car just all of a sudden go the right, and I saw, oh, he's going to come back across the track, and he stuck on the fence, and for some reason the one car sent just a blurry yellow go across, and just opened up in front of us. So we just lucky to miss it. Started right in the middle of it.
Your race car was pretty good, though. Started 13th, had made it up to 7th, Sterling.
Yeah, we did. It's a pretty good car. It was good yesterday evening, and just a long race here, just taking our time. We're a little bit tight right now, and we'll get it freed up. We'll try to get the Coors Light Dodge in Victory Lane.
How's that shifting twice thing going? You got to remind yourself every lap now because you've never done it before yesterday.
Now, when I passed Michael, I had to leave it 4th because going in there side by side, it's you get pretty busy. So I had to go through that corner in 4th, but